So I'm going to show you how to sew these panties so that all of the seams are fully encased between the exterior sequin layer and the mesh lining, just because the sequin fabric can sometimes be really scratchy, and that is the last thing you want on a pair of underwear. So I've already sewn the one side, and you can see my seam allowance is completely encased between the two layers. So what I'm going to do is bring my side seam over, and I'm going to baste these together so that my sequin fabric overhangs by about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm just going to baste these together really quickly on my sewing machine. Don't worry if your lace overhangs at the top by a bit, we can just trim that back. The most important part is that you actually have an overhang at the bottom by about 1/4 of an inch of your sequin fabric. So that is basted together, and they look like a pair of underwear now. So this part gets a little tricky because we're working with a small area, but what you want to do is you want to take your lining and your exterior basted seam, and you're going to pinch it together. Pinch the seam allowance together and kind of pull it through. Pull it through so that your seam allowance is all pinched together and your lining is kind of twisted through the center. So I'm just going to really quickly stitch that together on my sewing machine. Alright, and when I unravel that, my seam allowance is all encased between my exterior layer and my mesh lining, which you can see here. So there's no scratchy bits whatsoever. So the next step will be to add some elastic just along this outer leg line, hem that, and add a waistband.